Hello everyone, Sorry here. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am playing with my mystery card making kit sampler. This is part of Kendra Card Challenge Patreon. And if you are in the All Access Patreon or greater, you do get a card kit. And it is a mystery. You don't know which one you're going to get. And it includes different pieces of pattern paper, ephemera. And in my case, I had the not too shabby It's Apple Season. And there is a barcode on the back that you can scan, and then that will take you to more information about this card kit. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through this and try to make 2 cards out of it. I'm going to go very quickly and try to use as much as I can. I do have some pieces of paper left over when I'm done, but it's not too bad, and I can use those for future cards. I definitely got really lucky. I love this apple blossom theme. And so the first card I'm going to create is with the apple blossom pattern paper and that blue background. Off camera, I did cut those 2 pieces down. The apple blossom one is 5 inches by 2.5, and then the plaid on the bottom is 5 by 1.75 inch. And that gives me a nice border around so I don't lose all that red paper. This kit did come with that little teeny strip of other darker plaid paper, so I'm going to use that as just some detail onto the floor. And then just so I have some definition I love doing this with vellum, just to soften the background, I'm going to add some vellum behind my ephemera. And the ephemera I decided to use is the lady holding the basket and the little trolley in behind. So let's start gluing this together. And this card is going to be fairly simple. I'm going to just let the pattern paper and the ephemera pretty much do all the work. And so I'm going to just use my liquid glue and eyeball this so that I have a nice border. I've already pre-planned this. This is why I put everything down first. And then I know everything's good and I'll just start gluing it down. Things can still get crooked, but that's just the life of a card maker. Sometimes you do the best you can. But I think this turned out pretty nice. One thing I will do is get some love from Lizzie peel-off stickers. And the one I decided to use this time is this clear, it almost has a pink undertone to it. And it's see-through, translucent. And I'm just going to add that. And the reason I do this is because I love removing that harsh line that is created when you add 2 pieces of different types of pattern paper. Now for this strip, what I'm trying to do is line up the background and the foreground together. See how all those lines are now lining up? They are different. Some are wider than others, but I'm trying to make it so that they do line up as best as possible because it actually creates this nice seamless look even though it's completely different. And now I'm going to just add my vellum and ephemera. So first I'll just glue my ephemera pieces in position just a little bit. I'm not going to worry too much about it being fully glued because what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this down to the vellum and then cut around it. I don't want the whole rectangle. The only reason I cut out a big chunk was because I didn't know if I wanted to use the full thing or not. So this gives me time to play around and see. So I decided I was just going to cut and leave a little outline, quite a big one actually, the normal, and that gives me this nice break between the pattern paper and the ephemera. It's like a nice buffer. And it's all about trying to make it so that it's not harsh lines. That's the goal. And there we go. Very subtle. But when you look it up close, you can see the transition. It's really nice. So now I need to add a sentiment, and I got these sentiment strips. There's one on the top of the screen, and then there's this one. I thought, hey, girlfriend, not something I ever say in my life, but I thought it was really cute. And with the lady here with the basket. And so I decided to use that one. I cut it off, and I'm going to take a piece of pattern paper, which is the one I cut off from the bottom floor level. And I'm going to use that just to give it a little bit of oomph. So it's not just this floating sentiment here. And what I'll do is I'll cut it almost the same length and then give it a shadow almost using the pattern paper. And that's pretty much it for this card. I really like this one. I love that background, the apple blossom background. Just such a pretty pattern paper. And there we go. We'll just glue that down. I guess I'm playing with it, trying to straighten it as much as possible. And there we go. Hey, girlfriend. That's the sentiment. And I'm just going to glue this down to my card base. It's a really nice red. I wish I kind of didn't use the full thing, but you know, red is a hard cardstock to find. I find like I have a lot of red, and a good red is not easy to come by. At least not for me. Okay, card number 2. So here's the scrap so far. I'm going to start making another card using that puppy dog and the barrel of baskets. No, it's not. It's a basket of apples. So now I'm just going to do some placement and just see what pleases my eye with the different pieces that I have left over. Right now, I'm kind of figuring out how can I put some green in here. But then I realized that I actually don't like the apple tree. It's too much white. I like the pattern paper. It's too much white for this design. But so I think I have an idea what I'm going to do. And I flip, as you can see, I did flip it around. So I'm using the exact same pattern paper as I did in my previous card, which is what I really like. It's my favorite one. So let's just keep going with that. And I did trim the green cardstock to 2 inches. And I'll glue the pattern paper right on top of that, and just leaving about 1/4 of an inch showing up. I then realized that's a little too much, so I cut off 1/8 of an inch. And so now I'm just going to show 1/8 of an inch of green cardstock. And then the other pattern paper here that I'm gluing down now is measuring 2 1/4 by 5 1/4. I just wanted to leave a little bit of a red border showing around just on the right hand side. I thought it'd be kind of fun to do that. And so I'm liking it. It's using some multiple colors, but it's really working for me. To continue with the Love from Lizzie's, I decided I've never ever used these copper ones. So I decided that I would just throw these on, and I was thinking they are fairly similar to the basket ephemera. So I thought that would be a nice way of tying it in and being able to actually use this one. One year there was a sale. I think they do it once or twice a year, and they give free shipping internationally if you buy like a buttload of Love from Lizzie. And so I tried to get one of every color, and of course I picked this one, and I never used it. It's not ugly. I like the color. It's just I realized it's not something I use very often, or when I could have used it, I didn't remember to use it. So today is the day to use copper. Love from Lizzie peel off stickers. And I think it adds a nice little touch there. And I just added 2 strips along the whole green. And now I'm using another piece of this pattern paper from the previous card. It's just a piece that was left over, and I'm just going to use it as a grounding purpose for my ephemera. Because there is nothing else on this card that's going to keep the stationed, it's just going to look like they're floating. This kind of gives the illusion that there's something it's sitting on. Of course, when I actually get to the point of putting the ephemera on, I don't actually have it sitting right on the line because it didn't look that good. So whatever, at least it's still there. My intentions were pure. I see how if I have it there, everything's too high up, and it's not proportionate to the basket. So I needed to move the cute dog down a bit, and now it's not actually sitting on that line. But like I said, who cares? It's for fun. I'm having a ball creating with this pattern paper, and so it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Like I said, the intentions were there. So I'm just going to start putting this together, and while I finish this card off, I will just say that if you would like to support Kendra and her Kendra Card Challenge, which is a free service for everyone, you can do so joining her Patreon group. She does have different memberships, but if you would like to get the mystery card making sampler, then it is the all access Patreon or greater. So I do hope you consider it. Any support is greatly appreciated, and even just sharing your work on social media and sharing the name Kendra Card Challenge is also quite helpful and always appreciated. I did get two little enamel dots, so I'm going to add them to this card because otherwise I will lose them because there are just two of them. So I get to put them right in the corner of this card here, and this finished this card. First, I need to glue it to a card base. There we go. And then I'm going to be finished this card, and I'll show you what I have left over for scraps and then show the card I made first. I did forget that I had another piece of cards pattern paper sitting off camera, so I didn't show it. So there's actually two pieces of pattern paper and the greens piece left over. Not too bad. I can make another card with that. I'm sure I can. So thank you so much for joining me. I do hope you enjoy your day. Have a wonderful week, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.